Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily Whiteland. Welcome back to the White Hart Lounge. The third ever episode is today. We welcome on the man, the myth, the legend himself, Brian Dagul from Tottenham on Tour. Brian, how are you, mate?
I am doing very, very good, Robbie. It's just very good to be back on your channel. It's very good to be back home. Everything very good. How about yourself?
Yeah, all good, all good. It's brilliant to have you on the channel, as I say. Really been looking forward to this one. Obviously, the third ever episode of White Hart Lounge. Before I do delve into the questions and get chatting away to Brian, guys, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like, as I say, subscribe. Keep on supporting. Leave your comments down below. And also, go subscribe to Brian's channel, as I say that he does, with the other Brian Ireland.
Yep.
Brian's on Tottenham on Tour. So I'll give you a second to plug your channel.
Yeah, so it's just a brand new channel called Tottenham on Tour. Obviously, people will know me and Brian Ireland from Tottenham Away, which we did with Stell and Shy. But due to the world getting back to normal, due to COVID and everything, and time differences, and people going back to work, it became harder and harder to collaborate because of the time difference. So we had a meeting. Unfortunately, the best way to do it was for us to go our separate ways. We still love Tottenham Away and still speak to everyone, and we're going to be on their channel and vice versa. But Brian Ireland and I have started a new channel called Tottenham on Tour, and the reason that we called it Tottenham on Tour is obviously, as you can tell, I'm on tour from Canada right now, and also with Tottenham on Tour, it's the TOT. When you look at the top left of the screen, and you see when Tottenham are playing, it says TOT. So we thought they'd use that, and we've gone with Tottenham on Tour.
Really good name. Love the name, guys. Please go and support both of them, as I say. And look, if you're ready, Brian, we'll delve straight into the questions.
Ready when you are.
Right, so the first question I do want to ask you is, how did you become a Spurs fan? How did you sorry, I can't speak. How did you begin supporting this fantastic team?
So there's basically two answers to this question. The first one is I didn't have a choice, because the first thing, as a family tradition, the first thing you wear when you're born is you get put in a Tottenham Hotspur baby grow. So literally, that's the first picture. Like snap. Back in the day of '79, it weren't in the phones. It was get out those big cameras, and it's always like for my 4 nephews and my 1 niece that I have. First thing I buy them Tottenham Hotspur. So that was the reason. But when I finally became of age to start supporting football, I always remember I said to my dad, I'm at the age. What football team should I support? And he sat down. He said to me, "Well, listen, I'm from North London, and my whole family support Tottenham Hotspur. Your mum, well, she was born in Tottenham, and her whole family support Tottenham. You, my son, can support any team you want as long as it ain't Arsenal." And I was like, okay. So it was Tottenham, and through all the trials and tribulations, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, definitely. It's similar to me. The reason I'm a Spurs fan is because my family supports Spurs, as I said. And it's really good to hear that. Hear that fantastic tradition and all on there. But look, really good to hear how you became a Spurs fan. And we'll move on to the next question here. You said how you became a Spurs fan, but what's your favourite memory of Spurs, your favourite Tottenham memory?
That's such a great question. It's such a great question. And people probably be bored to death of me mentioning this guy's name, but I could pick probably 100 Paul Gascoigne moments. It could be the free kick against Arsenal. It could be when I've met him on a few occasions. But he is the first person, and will always be my favourite Spurs player ever. That whenever you were around him or you were at the game and you saw he'd get the ball, the whole crowd, you can be sitting there like in not dead silence, but waiting for a move to build up. But as soon as Gazza got the ball, the whole crowd were like on the edge of their seats or standing up, and there's like that. Or like when Ginola in his prime used to get the ball, or a Gareth Bale or a Rafa van der Vaart, and you just knew something was about to happen. You always had that with Gazza, and there's just so many memories with Gazza. But I'd say my favourite Spurs memory, and this is a personal one for me, it's not even what happened on the pitch. I used to live in Israel, and then I had a lot of demons in my past that I dealt with, that I spoke about quite openly. And then I hadn't been able to go to Spurs for about 10 years because of my addiction and living abroad. So White Hart Lane is always my house of worship. And all your troubles, you leave them at the door. When you get into Tottenham, everything just stands still. And I went to a pre-season game for the first time in 10 years, and it was the season we sold Bale. And you remember we used to have a pre-season game where they showcased the new signings and kind of an exhibition match. I think it was Athletic Bilbao or some Spanish team, but it was the first time I've been to Spurs in 10 years. So my friends got me tickets so I could go and say this is as a well done to your chip. And that moment when you first see the stadium, like when you walk through the stairs and you look at the pitch, and you're just like, I'm here. I'm not ashamed to admit I cried my eyes out. Just like I didn't cry my eyes out, but on Sunday when I unfortunately saw the Chelsea performance, walking up the stairs and seeing the new stadium for the first time.
What was that like? Just seeing.
I mean, there's a video of it on Tottenham on Tour of Danny Kiriakou actually filming me. And then obviously as I walk up the stairs, he catches my reaction. The stadium is absolutely outstanding. It's absolutely. Have you been there, Robbie?
Yeah, I've been there for a couple games, and just the atmosphere in there, the entire design of it is brilliant, isn't it?
There's not a thing wrong with that stadium apart from there's not enough Tottenham branding. Like, you know, we used to have THFC on the seats in white. I was just talking to Stelios about that actually. And there was loads of Tottenham kind of memorabilia that you'd know it was Tottenham when you're inside the ground. When you're actually inside, like you see all the programs and everything in the gangways and the food halls. But when you're actually on the pitch and in the stadium, apart from the cockerel above the stadium, you wouldn't know it's Tottenham Hotspur if you didn't know. So yeah, but seeing the stadiums for the first time is always like the best memory.
Yeah, I bet definitely. As I say, you know, I had the privilege of doing a stadium tour of the old White Hart Lane. It was absolutely fantastic going out and seeing the dugout and sitting there. It's just a fantastic experience. And for all his flaws, Daniel, even I'm not going to delve into him too much on here, but with everything that's wrong, I think you have to give him a bit of credit for the way the stadium looks. But look, absolutely fantastic hearing that. We'll move on to the next one here. Hobbies and interests away from Spurs. Do you have any hobbies and interests, as I say, apart from Spurs? And if so, what are they?
So the main thing in my life, apart from my beautiful wife back in Canada, is my 4 nephews and my 1 niece, Isaac, Noah, Levi, Joseph, and Sophie. And I haven't seen them obviously because of COVID. So being with them is like my number one. They're my medicine. They're my everything. But yeah, spending time with my wife has got me into. I mean, I love Gordon Ramsay anyway. I love Gordon Ramsay. But my wife is she loves her cooking. She's one of the most amazing cooks in the world, and she makes me watch all the Master Chefs, Master Chefs and Hell Kitchen. I don't mind, but she gets me watching cooking shows. And there's a few great American TV shows we watch. And moving to Canada, living in Canada, there's so much to do. So obviously doing all this YouTube and meeting all the people has been brilliant, and I love doing it. But there's just so much stuff in Canada to do, socialising, going out, eating. There's so much to do. But my main hobby is keeping in touch with my family and friends.
Yeah, definitely. You're spot on right there, as I say. And look, personally, me, you know, I do enjoy watching the cooking programs. I cannot speak to that. I don't know what it is. So I do enjoy watching the cooking programs. As I say, I'll even watch the British Bake Off. And I know some people go, you know, I can't watch that. I'll watch that. I'll watch the Master Chef. And it's one of those cooking programs. I'll just happily sit there for hours and watch them. And all of a sudden, it's 9 o'clock, and you know, 3 hours have gone by or whatever. But look, I do enjoy watching a bit of Gordon Ramsay. He just makes.
He's amazing.
Laugh like anything else. He's mental. He's brilliant. But look, I'll move on to the next question here, which links into the other one, as I say. Favourite film, favourite TV show, and favourite food.
Okay, so favourite movie. It's very, very close here because they're so far extreme from one another. I love Snatch. Snatch, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, right up there. But one of the old classic that I love is the original Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's just the best. Forget the Johnny Depp one. Forget that nonsense. That film's got a lot of special memories for me and everything. So I love those kind of genres. So Lock, Stock and Snatch, I just idolize. Favorite TV show. So there's a few here. So Only Fools and Horses.
Definitely, I agree with you there.
EastEnders, I've watched EastEnders since day one, and even in Canada, I refuse to miss it. No matter how good or bad it is, it's the one show that I stick with constantly. There are some great shows. There's some great shows that I believe are over here as well, but I don't know what networks they're on. So there's a show called This Is Us, which is one of.
I've seen that. Is it the one with the family and everything? the two boys. I think I can't remember the name. I watched
So
it.
basically, it's called This Is Us. And basically, there's two. They do a lot in the past, present, and the future. And basically, it starts off with this married couple about to have triplets. They go into labour, and one of the triplets die. But there's a black baby that is abandoned on the same day that they were born and put next to them. So they take the three home to complete the triplets. And it's just a story about their lives and growing up. But the way it's written, and it's comedic genius as well as really heavy drama. I can't recommend highly enough everyone to go check out a program called This Is Us, because it is absolutely.
I watched it, and it really pains me to say this, but I watched it a couple of years ago on Prime, and I can't remember the characters, but I remember the storylines and all the seasons that I watched. I stopped watching it in the fifth season, I think, but you know the amount of episodes, I think it's 20 episodes every season, something like that. But no, I agree with you with that one. I really do enjoy those types of shows. And
there's another one out called The Good Doctor, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's about a doctor with autism, like Doogie Howser when he was younger, and then but they really dive into the medical. It's just a phenomenal show. So they would be some of my favourite shows. Oh, and of course, Match of the Day and anything Spurs. So yeah, and then my favourite food, hands down, without doubt, Indian. I love a spicy curry. It's got to the point as well where so I used to hate Indian, but my best mate loves it, and I've known him now for 20 odd years. So we started getting curries together. I had to start with a korma because I couldn't take spice, and now I'm like vindaloo or hotter because I love it. But the food in Canada is incredible, like so much better than here. But the one thing they don't do curries as spicy as here. I don't know why. The quality of the meat or the fish or whatever is much better, but the sauce it isn't with that much of a punch. So I'm eating as many curries as I can whilst I'm here. But without a doubt, that or my wife's or my mother's cooking. But Indian is my favourite by far.
Well, with an Indian, carrying on this conversation, you got one Indian order, right? One ideal order that you can have from an Indian. What are you getting?
So I have two staples that I have to have. The starter is always a king prawn puri, always. And I've got so many people on that. But then I change my main meal, whether it be a vindaloo, a fal, or a very, very spicy one. But I change that. But the other staple that I have to have is a Peshwari naan.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's the sweet naan. So those two are.
Is that the one with the coconut flavour? That one.
Yeah, with the raisins and stuff. Yeah. So I have to have that, and I have to have my king prawn puri. And then apart from that, it's all but always the main meal is always something very, very spicy. But normally it's a lamb vindaloo, but I fluctuate between spicy dishes.
Yeah, for me, right, I like my spice, but vindaloo is far too much, and it's one of these things that I've been ordering from an Indian recently. And when you hear it, you'll be like, how can you order this? But when you actually have it, it really works. And I'll get lamb biryani, right?
Yeah.
In the rice, and I'll have it with a vegetable curry. And I haven't had it before. I had it the other day when I had an Indian takeaway. Normally, I'll just go for a chicken tikka masala or something a bit more plain. And I tell you what, it just works. It's one of those where it just really does work. And you hear it and you're like, personally, when it comes to a curry, I want chicken in there, I want lamb in there, I want them in the curry. And when you hear like vegetable curry, it sort of, for me at least, puts me off it a little bit. But when I add it, I tell you what, absolutely brilliant.
It's funny you say that, Robbie, because I don't get meat on my pizza anymore. I just get vegetarian pizzas because I don't know if it's the meat I don't know if it's just me and in my head, but vegetarian pizzas are tasting a hell of a lot nicer than when you have them with meat. I don't know what it is. It's probably me and in my head being silly, but I won't have meat on my pizza anymore.
Wow. I'll have to give that a try. I've never had a vegetable pizza from a pizza. I'll always get, like you said a second ago, a meat feast or a barbecue chicken or something like that. But I'll tell you what, I'll have to give that a try then. Definitely have to give that a try.
There you go. And let me know when you do it.
Oh, yeah, definitely will. Definitely will. And that takes us on nicely to the next question. And this is a tough question. Or it may not be tough for you. Favourite stream you've done on YouTube or favourite piece of content you've produced?
So no, this is kind of easy. I mean, as you know, I do a lot with We Are Tottenham TV, and I've had my Levy rants, especially one specific one where I went absolutely mental.
Yeah.
But the one for me has to be when I was still part of Tottenham away, and we did the mental health one. May the fourth be with you.
Brilliant.
Where it came to the point, obviously with COVID and the pandemic and everything that was going on, mental health is something that not just I've struggled with it for decades, and still battle with it occasionally, certain parts of it, but thankfully it's all under control and everything. But I've also had to battle addiction. I'm now 13 years sober on alcohol, so that goes with a lot of hard work, obviously. And
congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. And it's not very spoken about. It needs more attention. That mental health is, and thankfully now, compared to when I started being diagnosed with mental health issues when I was about 16, 17, so that we're looking at almost 30 years, that progression has come on, but there's not enough talking about it. And then obviously I am very, very open with it. I don't hide any secrets from it. I'm open about it because I want to be able to help someone, whether they want to reach out to me or know that, you know what, people do suffer with mental health and they can battle it, beat it, whatever you want to say, and try and build up a successful life. Like if someone had told me 15 years ago when I was a drunken cocaine addict, I literally would have, if someone had said you'll be married to the girl that you fell in love with at first sight, living in Canada, having a YouTube channel, have all your friends in your family and your four nieces, your four nephews and your niece, I'd have been like, no, you're dreaming. So to have that message and do that show without a doubt was not only the hardest, but the most rewarding one I had to do.
No, you're absolutely spot on there. I really did enjoy watching that show that you guys did, and it was such a good show because it really did link on to like all, like you said a second ago, it's one of those things that isn't spoken about enough, in my opinion. And look, you're absolutely spot on there, and that takes us on to the next question though. Future ambitions on YouTube and away from YouTube.
So, future ambitions on YouTube. Obviously, we started the new channel, and it's about growing that channel and getting some more content out. We've got loads of ideas, but it's just getting them into practice and getting them sorted. We plan to do a few more pre-recorded weekly shows, as well as a few more live recorded or live like this shows. And if we have what we have planned come through, then there's a lot to come, and it'll be very, very surprising. And I really want to see this grow. Like when you look at We Are Tottenham TV and the work they've done, the incredible work they've done, and support they give. I mean, during lockdown as well, they deserve everything. So for our channel, it's to build it up and carry on building, and we look forward to growing it with everyone. We want to make it as interactive as possible, but also help and be a part of this community that we've built up, and it's a wonderful community we've built up. Away from YouTube, my wife and I want to try and get our own place. We want to have a baby, but obviously things have been. I love this dude, Edmonton. How are you, sir? Good to see you, my man. So yeah, the aim is to obviously, when I get back, and I go back at the end of October, to start really planning for our future. And see, now we're coming to the end of COVID and Canada's getting better. We're nowhere near you guys. Like, we still need face masks on, underground, any shop, anywhere, anything. And the numbers I wouldn't say are high, but they're still not where we need them to be. But yeah, so my future is definitely in Canada as well. Oh yeah, honey. So yeah, my future is definitely Canada, the most beautiful, beautiful country, and the best decision I ever made was moving to that. Or the best move I made was marrying a beautiful Canadian woman that could give me access to Canada. And now I do get access. So it's just a wonderful country. And if I said to anyone that's on the chat, or you, Robbie, if you ever get the chance to come out to Canada, take it, because it's just the most beautiful country with the most beautiful people.
It's one of those places that's definitely on my bucket list. I want to go. As I say, people always ask me, when you're older, where would you want to live? Where would you want to go? Where would you want to travel? I'd say Japan. I'd say Canada, and I'd probably say, somewhere a bit different, like Croatia, just different countries. It's one
Croatia's beautiful.
I'd love to do, but look, Canada's definitely a place I'd love to go, and I've got people in my family who have been to Canada, and they say the people there are so friendly. It's such a nice community, and just a really, really nice place. Really nice.
It really is. It really is outside. I mean, it really is. It's like even at the bus stop, it's like, good morning, good morning. How are you? It's like it's like you. I got told by my parents and my grandparents, and I'm sure you got told by your parents and grandparents. Back in my day, we used to leave our back door open, or we used to walk down the road, and everyone knew everyone, and it was all hello, hello. And it really is like that in parts of Canada, like especially with the area I'm in. It's such a neighborhood. It's just so much friendlier. It's so much more friendlier than here. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those places that I do want to go, as I said a second ago. But the next question that I do want to ask you is, do you have any phobias, or what is your biggest fear? What's your biggest fear?
So I have a very, very, very. I can't say how big this fear is of snakes. Like, I mean, I can't watch them on TV. I have to go like this, and my wife will tell me when they're gone. I can't look at a magazine. Now, the reason this happened, and it happened a long, long time ago, you know, when you're leaving primary school to go to secondary school, like that final year, you have like a big trip, like a end of year trip. So our end of year trip was to Whipsnade Zoo. Where we lived in, so when we went to Whipsnade Zoo, sorry, you know, you go to the reptile show and you go see the lizard. Yeah. But anyway, there was a reptile show, and there's not just my school, like from the borough, all the schools do this trip, and everyone was stroking the snake, and I was the last person on the last show from the last school to do it, and this snake had been absolutely fine, and I just touched it, and it went absolutely berserk, and I mean berserk. Thankfully, it was defanged or whatever, didn't get near me, but just like, and ever since then, I can't. I can't. My dad once told me that when I was ill, I was hallucinating so bad when I was ill one time that he caught me trying to jump out my bedroom window because I thought snakes were in my room. I mean, petrified. Put it this way, I would rather swim with piranhas and alligators covered in meat than be in the same room as a snake.
Honestly,
that's how. But I mean, I'm petrified.
Well, that's matter. That's absolutely mental here, and my biggest fear is going to sound anything like that, but for me, it's one of those things, and they're nothing compared to snakes. They're tiny little creatures, but they really do freak me out. I see one, I'm gone. I see a slug, I'm running away. I can't stand slugs. They're just horrible, and I'll tell you why this happened as well. And this is just a little thing about me. Is I think it was my christening when I was a lot younger, when I was there, and I can only remember it vividly. I put my hand in some tree and I pulled it out, and there was about 5 slugs all over my hand, and I just remember that. And now I'll see one slug, you know, just out the back garden having a chat to someone. I see a slug and I'm just gone straight away. I cannot stand them.
No, but listen, people have phobias, and people go, that's nothing. I mean, a phobia is someone. It's personal to someone. So it's like there's people that I know that have phobias for hearing a phone, like phone rings or whatever. They have to have their phone on silent, and because there's so many silly like people have the silly phobia of the number 13. Or it's very, very personal. So like I said, don't get me wrong, snakes. It's like literally. If I lived somewhere and I knew there was a snake in the building, I would walk out of that building and I'd live on the streets, just knowing that it's in my building. Really? Yeah, I can't. Like I said, when they're on TV, I have to go like this, and my wife will tell me when I can look at the screen again. It's that bad.
That's mental. It's one of those things. Phobias and fears. It's like different for everyone. Some people are scared of spiders. Some people are scared of creatures. Some people are scared of all sorts. And it's one of those things that I think everyone or most people do have some sort of phobia or fear of something. But anyway, look, we are going to have to end off the stream now. It's been an absolute pleasure, Brian, as I say. Just before we go, tell people once again where they can find you on YouTube.
They can find us at Tottenham on Tour. So it's like I said, it's a new channel. We've just got over 400 subscribers now. We're trying to build it up to get to the magical 1,000. So we're moving. We've got more content to come. There's not going to be a 2 Brians this week because for people to know, right now I am waiting for the imminent arrival of Mr. Bob Spur TV. who I'm spending the weekend with, and we're going to watch Spurs Arsenal together with. And then my best mate lives up north, so I'm going back with him and spending a week with my best mate and spending a lot of time with Bob. And this is the first time Bob and I are going to meet face to face. So this is like a family reunion. It's been a long time coming, and if he's probably watching somewhere or listening to this in the background in his car. Bob Spur was one of the first people that I spoke to, like outside of Tottenham away, and we are Tottenham TV, and we exchanged numbers, and we've just had there's a big bromance there, and so he'll be here imminently. So looking forward to that, and then we're watching the AJ fight tomorrow and doing a couple of bits, and then we're watching the football together, the Spurs Arsenal with a few of my mates now. If anyone wants to know, we're watching it in a pub in Camden. So if anyone wants to come and fancies coming to a pub in Camden, let me just see if I can remember the name of it. Let's have a look. Let's do a. There you go. You're getting an exclusive here, Robbie. You're getting an exclusive. Let's have a look. If anyone can get to, where is the name of the bloody pub? Give me 2 seconds, guys. But yeah, so the name of the pub is. Come on. Give me 2 seconds, I will have it.
Yeah,
so
no
it is. Okay, so it's the Earl of Camden. The Earl of Camden. If any guys want to watch it, we've got a big table and there are a few seats we have reserved. So we have a few seats available that are guaranteed to come sit with us. So if you just reach out to me on Twitter at Dagul, BRIDAGUL, and say you want to see and come and join me and Bob and a couple of my mates. Now, my best mate who will be there, unfortunately, is a Gooner. But the great thing we do this every North London derby. We have a lot of friends that are Arsenal and a lot of friends that are Tottenham. And what we do is we pick a mutual pub rather than being deep in the heart of Tottenham or deep in the heart of Arsenal. And literally, we go and chill there and have a great day together. And it will be a great, great day. So I haven't seen my best mate for a couple of years either. So it'll be great to see him. So yeah, we will be at the Earl of Camden. If you want to come and you've got nothing to do, you're thinking where to go, like I said, send me a tweet and I'll reserve one of the seats that we have spare because it'll be great to see everyone. And then when it comes to wanting to get there if the seats are gone, please feel free to come and join us at the Earl of Camden.
Well, there you go, people. Earl of Camden. Go and see Brian and Bob. Absolutely brilliant hearing that. And look, before I end off, I'll just hear you talking about Josh Urusic right there. Are you interested in any other sports, massively apart from football? Because me personally, I'm massively sporty. Watching the fight tomorrow, Ryder Cup tonight, F1 on Sunday, the whole shebang. But what other sports are you interested?
So the other sports that I'm into, I love boxing. I love AJ. So years ago, so when I went over to Canada to get married in 2014, about a week or two before I went to Canada to get married, I went to the Carl Frosch Groves fight, and AJ was on the undercard, unbelievably, because he just won the Olympics. So I love watching boxing, but I tell you what, going to a boxing match is one of the most scariest things you ever do, because everyone thinks they're Rocky Balboa. Everyone is absolutely drunk, and literally everyone wants to fight with everyone. And unlike football, there's no stadium divide. So you have AJ fans next to whoever fans, so I love my boxing. But when I say I love my boxing, I love watching AJ. I don't religiously watch all the weights, but I do enjoy it. I do love NFL. I've really got into NFL. I used to be a big NFL fan. So I support the New Orleans Saints.
I'm a big Baltimore Ravens fan.
I'll give you a funny reason to why I support this team. So growing up younger, when I first started learning about American football over here, I supported the San Francisco 49ers because of Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, but Jerry Rice mainly. And if you like American football, Google Jerry Rice and you'll see the greatest wide receiver you'll ever see. So I love that. But then obviously as I grew older, I realized that I hate, and I don't use anything red for obvious reasons. I won't use a red pen. I won't wear a red top because of Arsenal. I don't use anything red. So I couldn't support this. When I moved out there, let's just say there was someone in my family that I was not very, very happy with. I'm not going to go into the details. But anyway, this person moved to Carolina to get out of this country and marry someone after leaving the person that they were married to, and they lived in Carolina. So this person now lives in Carolina. So when it got to the playoffs of the NFL when I first moved to Canada, Carolina has now become like my Arsenal. So I was like, right, whatever team knocks Carolina out of the playoffs, I'm going to support that team. And I now support the New Orleans Saints. And literally every time I see Carolina playing any sport, they are like Arsenal to me. They are like Arsenal to me. Anything Carolina, lose. But yes, I'm a New Orleans Saint fan. I don't know if you call it sport entertainment. I used to be really into my WWE. But I do have a very, very unhealthy obsession with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I mean, I'm wearing Under Armour trainers. I've got his face mask. If I go to his movie, as soon as I see him in the movie, you'll know if I'm there because I scream, "If you smell what The Rock is at the top of my voice," so you'll know I'm in there. And I pretty much know all his promos off by heart. So yeah, I've got.
His best ones for me are the ones that he did on Goldberg before Backlash years ago. Just the way he's taking the mickey out of him. And you know, personally, I used to love the WWE. As I said, I don't watch it as much now, but
no, same here.
Brilliant.
So him and Stone Cold in the Attitude Era, but that's it. I mean, my dad will watch any sport that moves. My dad will watch any sport. He loves his cricket, which I just do not understand. I like the Olympics and stuff like that. I'm trying to get to learn ice hockey because I love the sport. Because obviously being in Canada, but it moves so fast. It moves so fast you can't see the puck, and it's just like, oh my god. So yeah, I do like some other sports, but I won't watch them religiously. Football has my heart.
Football's the one. Yeah, definitely, completely agree with you there. Personally, you know, I'll watch a lot of sports. I love me boxing, love me UFC. As you said, if you count wrestling as one, I do enjoy me wrestling, me Formula One as well, and all of that. So I'll watch as much sport as I can. But there we go. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Brian. Really, really have enjoyed it. And yeah, this has just been about it. Everyone who's tuned in, thank you for tuning in. Get your comments in, as I say, of the video when it's out. It's been a brilliant live stream on here. So as I say, really do appreciate bringing you on, Brian.
Fantastic, mate. It's been a pleasure. And then hopefully whilst I'm here, we'll do a few more things together. I'm here till the 29th of October. So yeah, just hopefully I'll see you a few more times. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. So thank you for watching this live stream. And as always, come on. Leave me out.